Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Suzuki Swift Short Series Championship for racers 3 and 4 from Goodwood and Brands Hatch. And as we have a quick look at the standings, I want to introduce my commentator. Today is Ray. Ray's with us. How are you, Ray?
I'm fine. Did you forget who it was?
No, I was looking at my window because my window's open and it's just started raining, so I need to close it. Also joining us is Connor. How are you, Connor? Aye. All right.
Why are you, man?
Why are you, man? Hey. No, to be fair, Connor's not able to make it today. Ray, carry on talking while I close the window.
I'm just gulping a drink of beer there.
Well, you're what I'm bloody used to you. Now, if my audio sounds different, I do apologise. I've had a change of computer. So hopefully we shouldn't have production issues like we've had in the past. Also, I want to quickly mention apologies, folks, for anyone that was expecting the race footage out last week. We did have to, at short notice, postpone the event. We have rules on how many drivers are going to be available, blah, blah, blah. But one of the things we also do is, if we've only got 2 admins who are available, then we can't go ahead with the event. And unfortunately, at last moment, we did have 3, but it dropped to 2. Okay, so Conrad on pole position here at Goodwood. Second place is Steve F1. The grid here being formed by the current championship standings. So Artpal, he's in 3rd place. And then we've got SGP in 4th.
Yeah, and then we've got Diminar up there in 5th. So after a couple of races, that's where he is. Rich Blue's in 6th, a nice wee position after a couple of races.
We've got a few drivers missing then.
7 Nelly, 8th Critical, 9th Jason, and then SRI at the back there because he's scored nil point.
Yeah.
Just like the team. No.
I know they've got 1 point. Okay, so as we get ready to start this race, then remember, folks, there is a fuzz zone. We'll get onto that as we're at 4 lights, 5 lights. Away we go very slowly. My audio sounding a little bit crackly to myself, and that could be that I'm just too noisy for my own good. Conrad leads into turn 1, which leads quickly into turn 2, which leads quickly into a not so straight, and then a kink. And then we've got a very tricky high-speed section here at Goodwood. As Steve F1 having a look all over the back of Conrad. Actually, Conrad going defensive. SGP looking at making a move up the side. Don't know if he'll be able to get that done. So this is the high-speed Essses. A right and a left. Very easy to get it wrong here, isn't it, Ray? Oh, as Rich Blues has done that, and so has Jason.
Yeah, I was just watching that in the back cam as you were talking away. Yeah, very easy to get them wrong. Not being on the right line and not on the brakes properly. Is a big contributor of that.
Well, I'm glad you finished that word. It just sounded like you went big contributor. Okay, we've got Demon Artpal side by side, headed down towards the penultimate corner, which is where the fuzz zone is. The curb on the right, as we can see it. Whoever is ahead at that point, this corner is theirs. Now we can get on to that at different points in the race, hopefully, because obviously it's a unique thing that we do. So Demon R right up the gearbox of Artpal, and I tell you what, the front 2 have ran away a little bit here, Ray. I was wondering if it's worth these 2 working together or doing a Twilight and Rich working together and one punting the other out of the way.
Hamilton find out. The good punting out the way as Artpal is taking a wee bit more of that corner on Demon R. We've seen the puff of dirt coming up there. So hard on the brakes into this left-hander and then down another gear into the right-hander. Well, some people taking it in 4th, some people taking it in 3rd.
Yeah, I think someone may have dipped a wheel ahead of SGP as well. There might have been Demon R. There was a bit of dust being kicked up there. We saw SRI getting a little bit out of shape. Okay, Conrad opening up a bit of a gap here to Steve F1. Conrad's been shown to be quite quick in these cars. Had a brilliant end of the last championship, didn't he? And I think he won a race last week. Oh, that's very well.
You've cursed him, you bastard.
now Fuzz is being overtaken in the Fuzz zone, Ray. What's going on there?
Well, he had a moment. Was crashing. I like to go for an overtake if he's a slow car, if he's not back up to speed. So the couple of cars that overtook them, there'd be no action against them.
Okay, that makes sense. Also, it looked like SGP was also looking to try and get past, backed out of it though. A good bit of judgment there, because it would have been a little bit later on. But Art Power and Demon R were able to get past. They're still battling. Conrad right up behind SGP now, as Steve F1 is running away up at the front. That sounded a little bit like Christopher Walken then.
Yeah, a couple of different lines from Demon R. Art Pals went deep. I was going to let Demon R take the inside, and because it's a double right-hander, you've got that extra less what's the word I'm looking at? Less distance to go to get round to two corners, so you get again a wee bit of an advantage.
Absolutely. The thing is as well, the double right-hander you mentioned there, Demon R dipping a wheel. The double right-hander you mentioned, it looks such a simple set of corners, but actually it is a very tricky set of corners, because if you get it wrong, then you are going to be ending up way down the order, because when you get sucked off, you get sucked off deep.
Yeah, in the back you can see Rich, Jason, I don't know who the other person is in front of Jason, having a wee battle here. I think it's Nelly. No, it's not Nelly.
It's Conrad.
Can't see. Conrad.
Yeah, we've got Conrad, Critical, Nelly's in there as well. He's just ahead of the match. Jason. Go on.
SGP on Art Pal, so Art Pal's starting to go backwards as somebody's Conrad was off, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if he was nudged a little wide there, may have been. Now, Arpal's defending it, which is not a bad idea, but by defending, it does mean he's compromised in the middle of the corners and a little bit here on the exits. Now, for some of the drivers that don't really know this track, it's a bit of a tricky one to really get to grips with as these two go side by side. Demon R's already on the back of Steve F1. Okay, so look at the curb on the left. Who's going to be ahead? Art Pal's ahead. Nelly making the move. SGP was off the track there, so I think that was a legitimate fair overtake there by Nelly.
Yeah, I didn't see what was going on. I was looking at the back.
Fair enough.
I just looked up and SGP was getting overtaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he did end up with just off the track, and the opportunity was there by the looks of it. One thing I would say is, you can overtake a car that is slow, that's had an off, but if a car is just slow, you can't use the excuse of I'm faster than them. They have to have been recovering from something. So, no offence to... okay, let's pick someone. Let's say we've got a new driver called Demon B. And let's say he is about 8 seconds slower than the leaders. If one of the leaders or one of the faster guys caught him up into that fuzz zone, they couldn't just go, well, I'm 8 seconds faster, I can overtake you. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so SRI, Demon, dipping a wheel. They're very, very close.
No, it's Art Pal. It's Art Pal.
Oh, it is Art Pal. Now, good to see there. Nelly was aware on that occasion that although Art Pal did dip a wheel, he was still ahead, and he had more than enough speed to continue on. So good awareness there for Nelly. For Nelly and Critical, they've never raced with a fuzz. And Demon is on the back of Steve F1. So although Steve F1's leading this race, he may not have the fastest pace.
Oh, did you make that up, huh? Have you rhyming session going?
I'm not even going to try. I didn't try to do that. It just happened. If I try, it won't work. Okay, so Steve F1 leading the way. For Demon R to have caught that gap up. Let's see. Demon R's been doing 1:16s. I would guess Steve F1 has been doing 1:17s. as it's very busy on the pack cam behind SRI as SGP gives him a bit of a nudge. Demonar seems to be using a lot more of the track, using a bit more width on the road. It's using the wall as well. That won't help. What a nut. I'm just wondering, Ray, whether perhaps different confidence levels or because this track looks so simple, but as we know, it isn't. Like turn 1, you go in a little too deep, you're running wide, you're having a massive off. So maybe some of the drivers are not necessarily maximising the full width of the track to avoid the risk of dipping a wheel.
Yeah, and also confidence of going round the corners, as we see Pat Camel's a big battle back on Demonar.
That was unusual. Okay, gets going again. Gets going again, almost dead last. The reason I say that was unusual is that's the kind of... Oh, Jason's got a little bit of lag. That's the kind of spin or crash I'd expect to see a rear-wheel drive car have there. Dip a wheel, one wheel spins up faster than the other, spins off to the side. But in a front-wheel drive car, I wouldn't expect it to have that kind of an off. Oh, it's SGP! Bump drafts Jason ahead of SRI, going into the fuzz. That allows Jason to be ahead. Sneaky by SGP there if he wanted to wind up SRI. Conrad, though, got a bit of a run now on the back of Nelly.
Yeah, Conrad coming back through the field after he's had a couple off, so he's coming back through. He's got the pace. I don't know what happened with... I think one of them, there was a little bit of contact. I think the other one was on his own accord, so he's chasing back up to Artpal. Artpal doing well in second place.
Yeah, that he is.
We did see him go back a wee bit, but then Demonar had done off, and don't know who else has had off that maybe helped SGP, because SGP was attacking Artpal at one point. Now SGP's down in the back.
Absolutely. Demonar on the back of the gaggle of cars here now as well. So Conrad battling with Nelly has also allowed Artpal to break away a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if Conrad's going to be on the back of Artpal fairly soon. He did have quite a bit of pace. Nelly taking a very tight entry into the final few corners there. I mean, it's one of those you don't, because of the fuzz, you don't really need to defend the penultimate corner if you're already ahead, because it's, especially in these cars, it's a very difficult car to try and make a late move up the inside of the penultimate corners. Critical here, running in 5th place at the moment. He's got Jason behind him. Jason lagging a little bit. Critical dipping a wheel. And yeah, you see Conrad is breaking away from Nelly, isn't he?
Yeah, and back cam SGP sneaking up the inside of SRI. Demonar looking to follow, I think.
Oh, I think Jason may have just got a little bit deep in there and tagged Critical wide, but I think Critical's kept going as Conrad's all over the back of Artpal now. Yeah, Critical's was able to keep going without really much effect, but Jason ended up speared off the road. I think wondering if Artpal's had a bit of a moment somewhere, because the gap between himself and Nelly has come down a lot as well. So Conrad on a bit of a charge. His lap times mainly in the 1:17s at the moment. Now while everyone else is battling, Steve F1 has been able to... Oh, Rich Blues is off at the final penultimate corner, sorry. We did have a name for that cut for this section, didn't have... we had it, it's the no-no zone.
The no-no zone?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, do you remember the no-no zone? You can't touch me there. That's my
That's
no-no
a no-no
square.
square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that's what we call it, the no-no square. Because it's almost like a square. Okay, Conrad on a charge. Is he going to go for a lunge? I can just imagine him doing stretches in his Geordie jumper.
Yeah, looks like they're taking kind of near enough the same lines, so... Artpal...
Oh, he's not!
What the hell was that? Oh,
Um,
Conrad's going. He's going for a look up the inside. Is he going to have the speed though? He's not going to have the speed.
oh, no, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, the double right-handers is a very interesting set of corners. I mean, I personally find that in there, using third gear for the entry of the first one and then using fourth gear to kill understeer works very, very well. Oh, Pearl! Oh, a little bit late on the brakes. I think that's a fair fuzz overtake. Oh, Jason on the pack cam. Ooh. Ooh. Now, okay, Nelly making a move on Art Pal. I don't know.
I thought Art Pal still had the inside line, but I didn't really get clear off him.
Yeah,
so
I think
Art Pal's out wide. I think he's got dirty tyres.
You're absolutely right there. Okay, so what I saw on the pack cam, I don't know if you saw it as well, Ray. It looked like Rich and Jason were kind of battling a bit in the penultimate corner, which is absolutely fine. And it looked like Jason may have gone for an overtake in the fuzz zone. So after the end of the curve. Excuse me, Nelly. Sorry, I don't mean Nelly. I was just like, whoa, Nelly, like that kind of Nelly. Yeah, so that may be one worth taking a look at on the G spot, because it kind of looked like it was an overtake that shouldn't be happening, but looks can be deceiving. Just ask any guy who's married a woman and then watched her take her makeup off. Whoa!
Oh, Jason's
Jason
coming in.
Yeah.
What there? Oh, he's off.
I don't know. I think Jason tagged the back of SGP then, didn't he? May have helped SGP stay ahead, but has compromised Art Pal himself and
I thought it was Art Pal he hit, and Art Pal went a wee bit wide.
It might well have been. There was so much happening. Nice camera angle that there, actually.
Yeah.
It was weird. Nice camera angle there. Oh, Demon R's out wide. You've got to be careful out there. You can lose so much time.
They go through wide. SRI, Jason, and Critical through wide.
Jason backs out of it, which is probably the wise thing to do there. SRI on the tighter line. Critical may be able to do a little switcheroo. Demon R coming back with his dirty tyres. Misses the apex by a mile, but SRI's ran wide. Nelly and SGP now side by side, so this is Nelly having caught SGP. Although saying that, if it was Jason that hit the back of Art Pal, wasn't. So I'm trying to think now if this is actually.
You're not SGP catching Nelly. I thought Nelly was.
Might be.
Yeah, Nelly'd been up front, hasn't he? He was battling with Art Pal and Conrad.
Yeah, absolutely right. You are correct. SGP.
Oh, he go for a height switch back there.
Yeah, wasn't able to get it done, so through the final chicane they go. Art Pal's got a bit of a decent run here on the back of SGP, actually. Demon R got a bit of a run on Critical. But yeah, there is some nice camera angles here. So Conrad's last couple of lap times in the 116s. Steve F1's been in the 117s consistently. SGP mainly 17s. So Steve F1 he's been consistent, but he's not been fast. And if Conrad can keep doing 116s, he's going to be on the back of Steve F1 in no time. Talking about time, we have only got 3 minutes 40 seconds left in this race. Oh, it's Jason! Oh,
he's facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
As we see. Yeah, Demon R back on the back of Art Pals. I think this will be. Oh, what's going on there? SRI and Critical. Was a wee bit of get together there.
Wee little bit.
Let's get together.
Touchy, slappy. Okay, heading down to the no-no square. Demon R running a little bit deeper than he maybe would have wanted. SRI having a look at Critical, and we'll have to back out of it through the chicane. And you know what? I am so glad we have a full zone.
It's a wee bit wide there. It's like SRI get the run. He's dirty tyres and he's right hand side.
On the pack cam, we've got Conrad looking at the back of Steve F1, so keep an eye on that one, folks, for Conrad closing that gap in. But yeah, I am so pleased we have the fuzz zone here. I do think without it, we would just have carnage in that corner, and not because of anybody doing anything daft. I think it's just the nature of that chicane. Okay, SGP's got a bit of a run on Nelly. Nelly's running a little bit wide, a little bit further back. Critical's got a bit of a run on SRI. Also not meant to rhyme, but anything can happen at this time.
Alright, mister. Fucking Buster Rhymes here.
Hey, what can I say? I'm just the new Eminem. Although, actually, no, he's older than me. He's in his 50s now. Eminem is.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in his 50s. Well, yeah. Oh! I don't think he would have wanted to ended up in Zavala there. But that's one of those things that we mentioned.
Oh, they put his seatbelt on.
Well, yeah, headbutting windscreen. SGP using all the width to get a little bit of a switchback on Nelly. But Demon R getting involved in this as well as they go through the little kink. He's wide! Oh dear! Oh, that's Demon R's all over the place. Oh dear.
Oh, can SGP hold that?
Oh dear.
He's still trying, he's trying. Oh, he's at the wall.
Bouncy. Oh dear. Oh no! Okay, so it has reset him. I am hearing on the radio he's saying he's been reset to turn 1. Clearly geography was not a strong point of his because it was like the kink at 2. And Demon R waiting, so that would suggest then that Demon R perhaps did tag SGP, which sent him a little bit wide. With only a couple of minutes to go, well, 50 seconds to go, that could compromise their result big time. SRI all over the back of Critical, can't attack here, but what he can do is focus on his exit, and that's one of the things I love about the fuzz. Because you can't overtake, you can focus on your exit of the corner, which then allows you to try and get a much better run on any car that's ahead of you. I'm talking about cars that are ahead of you. On the Pat Cam, there was Steve F1 just ahead of Conrad, but the Pat Cam now looking at Nelly, because Conrad and Steve F1 are on the main screen, and Conrad has been consistently in the 16s, and that is why the gap has now come down to what we see on the screen here. Conrad's absolutely flying, right?
Yeah, he got up. That's the final lap. So,
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Sorry if you already mentioned that, and I'm just. Yeah, so has he got anything before the fuzz zone? And if he hasn't got before the fuzz zone, then he wants to try and get that run out the chicane.
Tighter line. He's not quite close enough.
He's
is he?
too far back.
Closing up though. Oh, he's got a no, he hasn't got a run. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate for Conrad. He was giving it everything he'd got. Nelly, go up.
He had nothing to lose trying that.
Absolutely. Nelly 3rd, Critical 4th. Artpal crossing the line in 5th. SRI 6th place. Jason in 7th place. Demon R in 8th. SGP in 9th. And Rich Blues will cross the line in 10th place. I must admit that camera angle really did give a good shot of like Conrad closing that gap, but then we saw the reason that gap closed through the chicane was because he went in there a lot faster, which resulted in him going wide on the exit of the corner. So massively unfortunate for Conrad, but like you said, he had nothing to lose by going for it. And that result will set the grid for the next race. This result in reverse order. So Rich Blues will start on pole position ahead of SGP, but we'll go through the grid in a moment anyway. But yeah, I mean, something I think quite interesting we saw with that overview of Connor's car there. You think about it like current F1 where they talk about track limits and they talk about, if you're exceeding track limits on the exit of the corner, like a lot of people go, oh yeah, but you're not gaining anything. Yeah, but the reason you're wide is because you've gone through the corner faster, and that is why you've ended up wide. And that was kind of a good example of it there with Conrad. If that had been a tarmac runoff, the amount of speed Conrad would have been able to carry through there would have been phenomenal. Okay, great. Take us through the grid.
Rich Blues on P1, the SGP P2. Is this?
Oh, okay.
What's the guy? I thought he was drunk. He was swaying over to the left. Demon R, the P3. What the hell? Jason
you know
P4.
what it might be. It's a bank.
SRI.
It's a banked corner, isn't it?
Aye, the guy's been a wank. 60, Art Pal in 6th place. Rico 7th. Nelly 8th. Conrad 9th. And Steve F1 at the back there in 10th. Yeah, back corner. That's going to be interesting for starting.
Absolutely. Also, looking a bit gloomy here. As we are at 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Away we go. And everybody, see, that's what happens at the banked part of Brands Hatch. It sends you to the inside. So Rich Blues, can he hold on into turn 1? SGP trying to go around the outside, but Rich Blues holds on to it quite nicely. In the background, we've got Demon R trying to fend off SRI. Rich, can he keep the lead into Druids? He's gone a little bit deep. Go on.
Yeah, he's gone deep, but he might be able to keep the speed up. And he's got the inside to this corner, so SGP will be looking to do a switchback. What you can't do is a car way off in the background. That might be Conrad.
I think it's Conrad. Right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and on the pack cam, Jason is waiting for him. So Jason with a bit of an error. Oh, and SGP making the move on Rich Blues through the final corner. I should know what that corner is called. Dick Tip is the alternative name for that corner. If you want to know why, just look at the map in the top right.
He nearly went for a full lap. Oh, he's gone off.
Oh dear.
Oh,
so easily.
He's gone off. So Demon R on the outside of SGP. Is he going to get round the outside? Don't know. I can't remember. What's this? This isn't Graham Hill Bend.
Yes, it is. The left-hander is Graham Hill Bend, and then this is Surtees, or at least the corner that goes left up the GP circuit is Surtees, and then we've got the final corner. I forget what it's called. I do apologise. Okay, so someone else dipping a wheel in the background. So we've got SGP leading the way, Demon R right behind him, SRI there as well, and we may see 3 different lines, and we are seeing 3 different lines into Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, SGP's ran a bit wide. Oh, he managed to keep going though. That's critical. Crucial, not critical. Critical's there. So SRI and Demon R side by side now with SGP right there. Having to compromise their speed to get through side by side, and that allows SGP to really pile on the pressure.
Yeah, who's SGP going to follow going through this sector? It looks like he was following Demon R. Now he's switched to SRI. He's trying to get a cheeky up inside the SRI, but he's getting a cheeky up inside Demon R.
Oh, no, he's not.
No, Demon has covered it.
Yeah, slotting back into the gap there. And this battle has allowed...
Oh, Demon R's going for it.
Yeah, he is. SRI. SRI looking back up the inside. Demon R having none of it. The battle there has allowed Nelly to close in as well and get involved in this. Steve F1 and then Conrad. SGP up the inside. He might be defending rather than attacking. So side by side they go with Nelly back into single file now as we head into the final. Of course, now this track is not the easiest of tracks to make an overtake on because there isn't like a big heavy braking zone or anything like that. But if you can get this corner right, as SGP goes a little bit deep, you get the final corner right, you may have a chance down into Paddock Hill Bend as Conrad making a move on Nelly here. So SGP went into the final corner a little deep, but it actually allowed him to get on the power much earlier. He's gone a bit deep though into 1. He may want to defend here, and he does.
Oh, I thought he was going to be too late.
Oh, a bit of contact there between Nelly and Conrad. I don't know whether that was Nelly trying to move across out of the way of SGP or not. I don't know. SGP's lost a position now to Nelly. So yeah, Conrad right there as well with critical right. I have a feeling, Ray, we're not going to have much time for a breather in this race.
No, not at all. Look at these guys fighting, they're dropping back. look at the
Yeah.
leaders. They're getting a bit of a gap now, so I'm probably sitting about 2-3 seconds.
Absolutely, yeah. So Nelly sitting in third place with Conrad attacking the SGP in fourth. Critical is there as well. I mean, this is an interesting situation here where if SGP starts defending to Conrad, Nelly may be able to break away. It was 3 wide a little bit further down. I think that was Jason, Steve F1 and Arpal. Steve F1 trying, he's got ahead of Arpal there. Rich Blues getting involved as well. Connor just dipped a wheel on entry. You have to be careful of doing that as Rich a little bit wobbly over the curbs. In the final corner here, Ray, there's so many different lines that can be taken, isn't there? But what you don't want is one that ends up with you in the gravel.
Yeah, that's kind of like if you hit the apex at the wrong time, put the power down, and your car just slides out with
Oh!
Oh, Jesus. So he's off track and he's hitting him.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Ah.
Yeah, the understeer just drifting you out wide into the gravel. I don't know what actually was the initial crash or whatever happened with SGP there. I just seen, I think it might have been Jason smacking him. He was off track as well.
Yeah, maybe the gravel friends. Okay, so interestingly, looking at lap times here, SRI in the 48s, so I would expect Demon Eyes in the 48s as well. Nelly's got a little bit of a gap to try and close in, but he's also got a little bit of a gap to the cars behind. SRI going in a little deep. So I think SGP may have done similar on the previous lap and just ended up a little deep because either that or there was contact with Nelly. Because I think it was close with Nelly, wasn't he? But obviously we didn't see anything on the camera. Okay, so Connor. Oh, no, that's Steve F1.
And who's that? Arpal, sorry.
Yeah.
Side by side. Coming through Graham Hill Bend.
No, so, yes, it was. Yes, on the left hand, yeah, he came through, yeah. He came up in Graham's Hill. Okay, SGP battling Arpal there as well as Rich Blues, giving a little bit of a slipstream now to Arpal. And this is where it's so easy to break a touch late and go a bit deep, as Steve F1 kind of has. But he's got away with it with Arpal and SGP being a little bit more cautious.
I think Arpal went for a gap where SGP was. That tight inside line as we see Nelly and Conrad about 3-4 seconds away from the leaders. They're going to start, depends, are they going to start battling, lose time, or they're going to try and work with each other as Conrad's taking a tighter line round there?
Yeah, that he is. I think Connor's going to go for this, to be honest. Oh yeah, a nice little switch. That's a lovely little dummy. Made Nelly defend the inside. Has it given him the run on the exit? Yes. Nelly defends the inside again. Now either go for it all the way round the outside or go for the big switch. Oh dear. Oh, that was a cracking battle though. Sent Nelly into going defensive, and it was all about getting Nelly to be slow on the exit at Paddock Hill Bend, and it so nearly worked. So I'm liking this from Connor, because I think previously we may have seen him just go for it down the inside, but we're seeing a driver that's, instead of thinking I want to get past you, it's almost like we can see him thinking, how am I going to get past you? So we saw what happened on the previous lap. What's going to happen this time around? Nelly goes defensive anyway. Connor uses all of the road, but he's a little bit wider than he would want to be. Maybe he got put off a little bit by Nelly defending all on his own. But it's all good, because if you're in Connor's situation here, Ray, if the car ahead is defending when you're not that close, you know you've got him looking in his mirrors instead of looking forwards.
Yeah, and as SRI in the pack cam, he's caught up to the back of Demon R again, so that'll be maybe another fight on in a minute. as we
Switched
went to them.
Yeah, and interestingly, into the final corner as well, Nelly went defensive. Conrad took a wider line. It would have a better run down towards the first corner. SRI, Demon R, Demon R's got a bit deep. Oh, there we go, SRI through. Conrad's doing the switchback. There we go. Nelly defended the inside, got a bit deep on the inside. Wound a bit wide, try saying that if you're Jonathan Boss. And Demon R managing to just fend off SRI as well. They were side by side through the exit of Paddock Hill Bend, but not quite. SRI wasn't quite able to make the move stick. Side by side they go again. Now this is where if you're in a great position if you're in SRI's position, because you can choose more options of where you want to position your car, and he's in a great position for a charge now down towards turn 1. It's on the pack cam. Nelly is dropping away from the back of Connor.
Yeah, we'll see if Connor's got the pace to come and catch these up, as SRI taking quite a bit of chunk of that apex.
Yeah, it can work though. I mean, sometimes depending on the car, I think it's better to take a bit of the corner, because it's one of those where if you're taking a bit of a corner, it pulls the car in around the corner a bit. Less likely that you'll run wide, but you do get a chance of dirtying your tyres. Oh, Demon R clunked the curb there, sent him a bit wobbly. Demon R now having to defend in the final corner. That will compromise the speed. I didn't even have time to thank you. I didn't even have time to say I'm going to sneeze. Jason on the pack cam battling critical, heading down the start finish straight. As Demon R once again goes deep. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to say once again goes deep. I was going to say once again leading, but yeah, it went deep again. SRI gets through. Demon R looking for the switchback. Can't quite get it done, but SRI's now on the inside. Conrad is starting to close the gap as these two begin to battle. We've got 9 minutes left in this race, and a little bit further back we've got Steve F1 just had a Jason and critical, that battle I mentioned a moment ago. But it looks like we've been having a right old ding-dong up here at the front for 11 and a half minutes so far, and it looks like it's going to carry on for a little while.
Yeah, another what's it? 11 and a half, 9.5 minutes? 8.5
minutes. Yeah, 8.5 minutes.
You can tell I went to a Scottish school.
Yeah, Conrad gone a little bit deep at 1 and maybe trying to push it a little bit too much on entry. SRI had a good run through 1. He's gone a little bit deep though at Druids. He may be able to not have to defend here. And interesting, around here, positioning your car is crucial. You position your car half a yard on the wrong line, you're going to be potentially slower. And if you're having to defend, you're going to be considerably slower than you might be able to be. Conrad is definitely, I think, closing up on these two at the front as they've been battling. Demon R's got a good run though. Not as close as SRI was a few laps ago, but within vicinity. SRI looking in his mirrors. Yeah, good defensive.
Yeah, and it's different from Demon R leading. When Demon R was leading, there was just that little bit of a gap between them both, but SRI leading and Demon R's up his drifter every lap.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to see what the lap times have been. I mean, Connor with a bit of free air though, he's going to be fast. Demon R trying to have a cheeky look. Okay, he's definitely got a run here. Be interesting to see what this lap times. If it's mid to low 48s, then they've not really been going slow. It's a 48.6, so it's not bad. It's not the best of lap times, but it's not bad. So yeah, considering that SRI is defending in a few corners, but I think it's one of those where you might. You know what? It's got a little bit misty here, Ray.
Yeah, I just seen that. It's we got to the top of the hill there, and yeah, you can see it on the track as well. The track looks a wee bit darker, should we say? The tarmac.
Yeah.
Like you didn't see the shadow of the overhead. I don't know if it's a bridge or if it's just a thing going up to turn 2.
Yeah, you know what? It probably is a footbridge. Okay, across the line they go with another
The sun's
48.
coming back out now.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, SRI's not made the apex there, but he's still holding on.
And that it is a footbridge. I did see there was, it's a footbridge over to turn 2 into Druid.
How many foot is it?
28.5. I would laugh if that was correct. It was actually 28.5 foot long. Okay, Conrad is closing in. This battle's still going on. SRI having to defend a little less on that occasion, but Demon R's got a bigger sweeping run on him. Maybe being a little bit further back has allowed him to carry a bit more speed mid-corner. Okay, here we go then. Battle for the lead down into turn 1. SRI doesn't defend. Demon R up the inside. Job done. Or is it? It isn't. Oh, what a move.
Sorry, I didn't see what was going on. I went to look in my phone to see what jokes I had planned for this evening, but
right.
I'm not getting one in.
No, that's what she said.
Oh, Demon R's got a better run into that. Conrad's a bit wide. We've got 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go.
Yeah.
I think SRI will be feeling the pressure here.
Yeah, he definitely will be. I mean, Demon R will be a little bit attempting an overtake and going so deep, getting it wrong. SRI with a lovely switchback, and that has allowed Conrad to close the gap even more. I mean, we're talking like Demon R's had a slow lap there, 0.4 of a second slower than other laps. But that's the margins of difference up at the front sometimes. You have half a second slower lap, and all of a sudden, the car behind goes from being quite far behind or far enough behind you're not concerned to now they're right on your arse as Conrad is here. Looking on the pack cam as well, Steve F1's got a penalty. Not exactly sure what for. Not easy to say. But he is in a battle in 5th place ahead of Jason, SGP and Critical. SRI coming under. He's had a much better run out of that corner this time as SRI. Can Demon R go for the move again? I think he might be too far back on this one, right?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's just that wee bit far back. Now, see where Demon R's quite a bit strong. He's got a different braking point in turn 1. SRI seems to be a wee bit stronger in this turn, but see this turn coming up is where Demon R is very strong. Watch him close the gap up. He'll close a well, maybe not this lap, but every other lap he's closing the gap up on that one corner and this last few corners. So SRI's only got like 1 or 2 corners that he's able to be strong on compared to Demon R.
Well, interesting. I think you're right. Demon R does like that Graham Hill bend, but on this occasion he's had to have a look in his mirrors, hasn't he? At where Conrad is to see if Conrad's going for the move. Okay, we close up once again into turn 1. Conrad's definitely getting closer. Demon R now going defensive on Conrad. That's exactly what SRI will want. That'll compromise both of them. This is that left-hander you was on about. But I think...
Look at this. Look,
oh, yeah, look at this cheated bastard.
It was a bit... I'd say it's a bit closer, but... been watching it, and that's where Demon R gets a great run through that corner, whether SRI's taking it just that wee bit slower or different line that's compromising him. As we see, he's getting there, isn't he?
That he is. On the pack cam as well, it's getting very busy behind Jason. Jason now in 5th place.
SRI a wee bit wide, that's brought Demon R side by side.
Yes, it has. Is he going to try going round the outside? He is. Conrad's getting in on this now as well. Demon R may be defending here from Conrad rather than attacking. And that he is. It's ever so close now.
A minute and a half to go. A minute and a half. That's 2 laps.
It is, isn't it? So, yeah. How's your heart rate, SRI?
Oh! SRI getting a bit wobbly on that curve with the kink. As we see, I think Demon R's get a better exit here.
Well, he did bleach it. Oh, yeah, he definitely has. But fascinating to see. We're not seeing any of these three up the front go for a risky lunge into turn one, are we? Excuse me, Demon R going defensive early on Conrad. That allows Conrad right around the outside, but SRI's gone a little bit deep. That puts Demon R up alongside him. Side by side now down into Surtees. Can SRI get this corner? No, it's so close. Okay, there isn't really anywhere for Conrad to go at the moment, so side by side we go with Demon R and SRI. SRI having a look for the little switch back. Was a little bit of a BTCC touch, very easily done. But yeah, it looks like SRI may have actually backed out a little bit to let Demon R stay ahead, and Demon R giving SRI the slipstream. Conrad up the inside now though of SRI, gets that move done. Okay, we are on to the last lap of the race, and I know we've not talked much about the pack cam in the last 5 minutes, but that's because there's a lot going up at the front here as SRI retakes the position in Druids. What a move!
I don't know, I was watching that, it was pretty close, so we'll see.
We've got moves going on the pack cam as well. I think Steve F1's just made a move at Graham Hill Bend and tried to make a move on Nelly as well. A little wobble there for Steve F1, but Demon R's going to come around the final corner, going to cross the line here at Brands Hatch to take the victory. A brilliant battle with SRI in second, Conrad in third, then we've got a right ding-dong, Nelly in fourth, and he's pulling over to let Steve F1 through. Then a bit of chaos after the line. But well, I mean, they all crossed the line very, very close together. I can only guess if with Nelly letting Steve F1 through just before the finish line, I'm wondering if something must have happened in those last few laps that we didn't really see. Not last few laps, sorry, last few corners that we didn't really see. So, because was it Steve F1 made a move on Graham Hill Bend on Jason, had a run on Nelly into the next left-right, so maybe there was a little bit of contact there, but fair play to Nelly on that one. But what a race we've had there. I mean, I said early on, Brands Hatch is a difficult track to overtake on, and it is, but we've had that was a brilliant battle up at the front. It really was entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I think Nelly just kind of squeezed Steve F1 a bit, the left-hand kink before the final corner. Yeah. I think it was that. And yeah, I think that was that. Sorry, I just went back to have a wee quick look in the pack cam there, but yeah. Yeah, what a battle up front, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just having a look to see if I can find out how big the bridge is at the footbridge at Druids is. Yeah, so yeah, whatever you were saying, absolutely. But no, I was listening. 28.3 feet. It's not. It will be there somewhere, but I can't see it. But yeah,
that was what a 20 minute of pure battle by the leaders. Like, they weren't really giving each other a kind of inch. Like, Demon R didn't pull away. SRI definitely didn't pull away because Demon R was right up his shifter when SRI was leading, and then bringing Conrad into the mix. Conrad was there. He was ready for any positions that he could gain on.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting as well that, I mean, I know we've talked many times about not the etiquette of racing, but a good way of racing. Like, up at the front there in that race was a brilliant example of, we didn't see anybody going for overtakes into turn one, not unless they were literally nose to tail on the exit of the final corner. Only then was the opportunity really there, because if the attempt was made, a lot of time could be lost. And I think sometimes when you can be in the pack, especially with a bit of boost, it's very easy to end up alongside a car ahead. I mean, if you end up alongside them on the exit of the final corner here, then obviously you're going to go side by side. But what I would say is we don't see... I don't know if we saw any late moves into turn 1 here on the pack, but I know, like in history, we have. But it's one of those where at turn 1 here, there isn't really anything to gain by going for late moves up the inside. Because as we've seen with, especially with Connor catching up at the end, I think a few seasons ago we may have seen Connor be a bit more aggressive on the way into corners like turn 1, but he's now realised, okay, it is much faster to not be aggressive on the way into the corners. You lose a lot less time. But yeah, absolutely cracking battle up at the front. Difficult to know what was happening for the pack, as I said, in those last 5-6 minutes, simply because of just how much was going on up at the front. So apologies, folks, for us not covering that too much. Right, a couple of bits of housekeeping I think we should do. I don't want to keep us too long here, because obviously we've started commentary quite late. At the start of the video, did apologise about there not being a video out last week. But yeah, unfortunately, we had enough drivers midnight Wednesday to go ahead with it, but then Thursday we did have a couple more drivers become unavailable, and then 2 of the admins are unavailable as well. So yeah, unfortunate postponement there. But in a way, it allowed some drivers to get a bit more practice around this track. But I also want to give a shout out to Gary and Louise. Gary was not in this race because he's been banned. No, he hasn't. Because he found the G-spot. Hopefully he's named his kid Gary, because that's what Gary's entry message is into the lobby. Name your kids Gary. But yeah, congratulations to Gary and Louise on the birth of their first child, baby boy, who has had
half of it was Spock.
Spock.
G-Spock.
G-Spock. Bloody hell. That's actually pretty good for you, I'll give you that. But yeah, I know the baby's had a few difficulties very early on, and I know Gary has not had a lot of sleep lately. I know he's gone like 3 or 4 days without any sleep. I mean, I can only imagine what it's like to be
Let's say he's been given a disease by the hospital, so he's in isolation.
That's Gary, not the baby. Yeah, so Gary is now ill as well. So yeah, Gary's in isolation at home. So yeah, a lot going on for Gary and Louise there, but as I said, congratulations. And as I've said to Gary, if you need anyone to talk to SRI or SGP. They've got the most kids. There's like 9 between them. If they don't know what's going on, then yeah, you're stuffed. But I did say to Gary, though, you can always give anyone a call and just, like, if you're struggling to cope with things, and just, I mean, like I say, I've never been in that situation of being a newborn. Not being a newborn. I have had that situation once of being a new father, and having a baby that might be ill, might be crying, and not knowing what's right, what's wrong, what's normal. Am I good enough? Am I not good enough? Am I going to drop them on the red and all that stuff?
Dropping them on the red doesn't make any difference.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, congratulations to them.
Absolutely. So yeah, so if Gary is not able to race in the coming weeks, we can understand why. But what I would say is everybody needs a bit of time to themselves. Okay, there's something else. Okay, the next championship, details of that won't be coming out just yet as we look at finalising a few things. So don't panic about that one, folks. The next championship won't be a Gold Star championship, and it won't be a dirty championship either. But yeah, so keep an eye on that. But what I can say is at the end of this championship, we are going to be taking somewhere between a 2 and maybe 4 week break, given the summer holidays, and given that I think we've pretty much done. Well, this is 2 championships back to back, and I think we only had like a week before the previous championship. So we are going to be taking at least a couple of weeks after the end of this championship just to recover and recuperate.
Yep.
Anything else you want to mention there, Ray?
No, just the usual. You need to get this recorded and you just insert it.
Yeah.
No, but I don't think if you record it and just insert it doesn't mean is
As much.
good much, yeah. But a big thank you to the drivers for producing the races that they produce, and also the back end team as well, and yourself on the videos. It's been a pleasure and it's been a great journey.
Absolutely.
Next week we're cancelled.
Yeah. I'm trying to think actually, where is next week's races at?
Oh Jesus. Do you know that way you watch somebody on YouTube or that for a while? I've caught myself copying this Irish streamer. Every second word is "oh Jesus," and I'm like, "oh Jesus!" I'm like, why the hell am I even saying that? That's not something I would say.
Watkins Glen is one of the tracks.
Yeah, we done the Watkins Glen
Yeah.
short, and the other one I'll just get doing a second. Scroll, keep scrolling, young Joe.
Yeah, I can't.
What Glenton sits or Dagna Road B.
Okay, so
Dagna.
Sardegna. Yeah, okay, a couple of interesting tracks there. The Watkins Glen one is actually quite nice in this car because Watkins Glen punishes rear wheel drive cars, and because it's a front wheel drive car, it doesn't punish it as much. So get ready for that one. Now, you mentioned a moment ago about going on a journey. One of the journeys we have in life can sometimes be someone's sexuality or someone's friends giving them a nickname for different things that happen in their life. Or I gave my sister a new nickname recently, and she's a lesbian with braces, so I called her Box Cutter.
Okay.
I got one more. I can't find my notes. I'll leave it for next time. Oh yeah, that was it. Oh yeah. I said to my wife yesterday that I really like it when she has her hair back. Apparently, that's not a nice thing to say to someone that's getting chemo.
Sorry, what?
It's not a nice thing to say to someone that's getting chemo.
I missed the first part.
I said to my wife yesterday, it's a joke and I have to repeat it. I said to my wife yesterday that I really like it when she has her hair back.
Alright.
Yeah, apparently it's not a nice thing to say to someone that's been getting chemo. Yeah, okay, we're getting.
Why would you make a joke like that? Yeah.
I stole it off someone. I stole it off someone. They found it funny.
You stole it off somebody that found it funny.
Yep. Our New Zealand friends or Australian friends, they were laughing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was a dark humour video. Right, well, on that bombshell, yeah.
Why is it when you send attachments to yourself, sometimes they don't? I've got 3 attachments, I think were jokes, and you know, that way I see it on
Facebook, and you think, I'll message that messenger.
Yeah, and then I'll use it. It's not showing on my phone or the computer.
Okay. I know there's a weird syncing thing with Facebook at the moment. It's very annoying, but it should. If you've sent it on your phone, it should still show on your phone. Yeah, I don't really know on that one. I have to have a look into it. What else? Something else I'll have to have a look into is the confirmed race results and the championship standings from this week's races. So thank you, Ray, for joining us on commentary.
I know. Oh, did you watch that asking AI to make a hit country song that I shared in the drivers?
Yeah, called Smooth and Silk, and he starts singing about shaving his balls. Yeah.
Waxing his balls. I was in stitches with that.
Yeah. Have to be careful what you ask AI to do.
And then SGP when he scored up there.
Well, yes.
Watch that one.
I did, yes. Right. Let's get ready to rumble. And let's take a look at the points. Okay, so confirmation of the race results then. Race 3, Steve F1 taking the victory, maximum 20 points. Conrad right behind him, second place on 17. Nelly finished in third place with Critical in fourth place. I think that's Critical's best finish of the championship so far, or in DGT so far. Fifth is Art Powell, sixth is SRI, seventh is Jason, but he has got a minus 2 point penalty. I'll get onto that in a moment. Demon Art in eighth place, SGP in 9th, Rich Blues in 10th. There were a few reports put in, and for Jason, the minus 2 point penalty is for making an overtake in the fuzz zone. It's a very, very tight one, but we will show that on the G spot. But yeah, on Rich Blues, and Rich Blues was just ahead. Okay, confirmation of race 4 then, and Demon R taking the victory and the maximum points just ahead of SRI. They had a great race-long battle that Conrad came and got involved in as well. Third place for him. Steve F1 in fourth, fifth place Nelly, sixth place Jason, seventh was Critical, eighth is SGP, ninth Rich Blues, and Art Powell in 10th. Yeah, so Jason's fuzz move, it may have been a bit of a difficult one with the lag that he had during the race, but as I mentioned, we'll look at it on the G spot, and I'll go through how the decision is made from there. Okay, looking at the standings then, Conrad leading the way still, but he's only now 1 point ahead of Steve F1. Demon R in third place, a few points behind the both of them. Art Powell drops down to fourth place. He's 4 ahead of SGP, who's in fifth, who's 2 ahead of Nelly in sixth. Rich Blues is in seventh place on 33 points. He's 4 ahead of Critical, who's 1 point ahead of SRI. Twilight down to 10th place with him not being able to race, 21 points for him. Jason 11th place, would have been a bit higher if it weren't for the minus 2 point penalty. Well, he'd have been in exactly the same position, but it would have been tied 10th, not 11th. Bob down to 12th with him not being able to race. Formula Gary down to 13th with him not being able to race. Obviously Gary's availability could be sporadic in the near future, but again, congratulations to him and Louise on their newborn baby. Jimmy in 14th, and that pretty much rounds out the grid. We mentioned about the next races being at Watkins Glen and somewhere else. I think it's Sardegna Road, one of the road circuits. For race 5, the starting grid will be the championship standings order. For race 6, it will be a reverse of race. Sorry, it won't be a reverse. It will be the result. Or is it a reverse? No, it is a reverse, of race 5's result. I get myself all confused there. Some interesting news, though, or some unfortunate news. With the postponement we had of this race last week, it obviously has pushed this championship back 1 week. Which unfortunately for Conrad means he may not be able to make the final 2 races of the championship, races 7 and 8, as he's going to Silverstone for the weekend. It would be nice if he can make the races, because he's got a great opportunity of taking a championship here. But yeah, I do know that he was a little bit frustrated about the postponement because of meaning he may miss those last 2 races. But unfortunately, when it comes to being able to run the league and do the things that we do, we need to have the admins available. And if they aren't available, then unfortunately the event can't go ahead. Obviously, we apologise for that. Maybe we can polish his brown star and see if we can turn it a bit bronze or brass coloured. You never know. Right, enough waffle from me. Talking of waffle, I'm hungry, so I'm going to disappear. Thanks for watching, everybody. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and if you want to find out what's going to happen in the championship, catch up with us next week. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you all again soon.